One day, your hands start shaking at red lights. Your eyes take half a second longer. Your gut tells you to slow down, and you ignore it. That's how it happens. Not with a crash, but with a question you never wanted to ask. Am I still safe to ride? By the time most riders ask that, it's already too late. You don't age out of motorcycles. You don't sell the bike, fold your leathers, and make a toast. That's not how it goes. You just stop riding, quietly. First it's the weather, then work, then your wrist starts hurting. Then you tell yourself, I'll wait for spring. I'll wait for the right weekend. I'll wait till I feel sharp again. But sharp never comes, only soft. And then one day, you forget how the clutch feels, how the throttle pulls, how it smells to roll into a gas station in full gear. You tell people you still ride, but your bike hasn't moved in 8 months. Real number. The average age of motorcyclists who die in US crashes today, over 50. Not young and dumb grown men, with big engines, slow reflexes, and a little too much confidence. And get this, if you're over 60, your reaction time can drop by 0.3 seconds. That's 27 feet at highway speed. One missed brake, one bad left turn, one bus, length you don't get back. And here's the part no one admits. It doesn't take a crash to end your riding life, just hesitation and denial. You don't quit riding. Riding quits you the second you stop respecting the machine. Your knee doesn't clear the tank like it used to? That's not aging. That's your body sending a final courtesy warning. Ignore it, and the bike stops whispering. It starts screaming. Grip gets weaker, eyes go blurry at dusk, but your ego still thinks it's 1997, so you take the turn like it's a warm up lap, and the bike throws you off like a dog shaking water. Did you know? 30% of fatal motorcycle crashes involving riders over 60 happen on solo rides. No traffic, no drunk driver. Just them, their pride, and one misjudged curve. Your frontal lobe, the thing that calculates risk, starts to lose efficiency after age 50. 5. Not all at once, quietly, like a tire losing pressure, and you won't notice until you miss the red light. Yeah, you could ride like you did at 25, but only if you're cool swapping your femur for a GoFundMe page. Your bike doesn't lie. It doesn't care how long you've been riding, how expensive your gloves are, or how many Harley tattoos you've got. It speaks in friction, in lean angles, in split-second DS. And when you start second, guessing mid-corner, that's when it bites. They don't write this in the owner's manual, but every bike you swing a leg over gives you a test. It's not a skills test. It's not can you corner at 80 or brake in under 3 seconds. It's the one you always fail first, the ego test. You know it. You feel yourself slowing down. You flinch mid-corner. You ride shorter days, flatter roads. But instead of adapting, you lie. You're not taking it easy. You're avoiding the stuff that scares you now. And you think if you don't say it out loud, your bike won't notice. Most riders never quit because of crashes. They quit because of shame. Too proud to downsize, too proud to decay a class, too proud to admit that the machine got ahead of the man. You used to adjust the bike to your riding. Now you're trying to adjust your riding to your pride, and that's when it gets dangerous. Let's be clear, nobody gives a damn what you riddy. But if you're pushing a 900-pound touring bike at 63 years old with bad knees and bifocals, you're not proving strength. You're gambling with denial. You know what's cool? Control. You know what's not? Dropping your bagger in the Starbucks lot because your knee buckled. There's nothing weak about adapting. Downsizing isn't defeat. Taking a course isn't failure. It's what keeps you riding longer. Pride doesn't keep you on the road. Skill does. And skill dies the second you stop feeding it. Most men don't keep riding because they love it. They keep riding because they don't know who they are without it. When your kids stop calling you for advice, when the gym becomes a memory, and the guy in the mirror starts asking, "Who the hell is this?" The motorcycle's still there, still loud, still listening. Because once the career fades, once the house is paid off, once the phone stops buzzing, what's left? Retirement parties are for guys with hobbies. Motorcycles? They're for men who ran out of lies. Study after study shows men over 55 are the loneliest demographic in the U.S. suicide rates, highest in that same group. And here's the darkest truth. A lot of men don't stop riding because it's dangerous. They keep riding because it is. They won't say it out loud, but a part of them feels more alive twisting a throttle than they ever did at their own wedding. They don't talk to their sons. Their wives stopped asking young. But the road? The road still gives them something they can hold on to. You know what a Goldwing is? A 900-pound excuse not to talk about your feelings. No judgment. But don't kid yourself. You're not just riding to ride. You're riding to feel Lee K.E. a man again. And if that's the case, you'd better ride smarter than you ever have. You think riding ends with age? Nah. It ends when you stop adapting. Meet Frank, 68, sold his Road Glide, picked up a CB 500X. Why? Because his knees hated floorboards and his back said no to ape hangers. Now he rides more than he did at 40, just smarter. Today in the US, there are more active licensed riders over 60 than under 30. You read that right. Old guys aren't quitting, they're evolving. You think swapping your big twin for a midweight is giving up? You know what's worse? Swapping your last ride for a recliner and calling it a being realistic. Ride smaller, ride a lighter, ride longer. You don't need a 900-pound flex machine. You need something that gets you out of the house and back with your spine intact. Think you're too old for risk? Here's a bigger risk. Regretting all the roads you never took. Because we are too proud to downsize. Statistically, riders who switch to lighter bikes after 55 are 45% more likely to still be riding 5 years later. Why? Because they don't let ego choose their seat height. Everyone talks about horsepower. No one talks about wisdom. You want to keep riding? Adapt, adjust, outsmart the clock. You don't need to stop. You just need to stop pretending you're still 25 with titanium knees and something to prove. You think it's the bike that's dangerous? It's not. It's the story in your head. The one that says, I still got it. The one that says, I've been riding 30 years. I know what I'm doing. The one that says, I'll be fine. Just this one ride. But here's what nobody tells you. Most serious. Motorcycle accidents involving riders over 55, they happen within 5 miles of home. You don't crash because you're pushing limits. You crash because you're comfortable, because your muscle memory is from 2005. But the traffic, the visibility, the stakes, they're all from 2025. Most riders who go down late in life don't go down because they were reckless. They go do WN because they didn't update their mental software. You learned to ride when phones flipped. Now they stream TikToks into distracted drivers' windshields. Yeah, you're alert. But that 19-year-old in a crossover, she's doing eyeliner, eating fries, and live streaming it all. You're not in the same game anymore. You think it's still your road? It's not. It belongs to people who don't even know what a blind spot is. And here's the twist. That little voice in your head, the one that says you're fine, that voice kills more riders than curves ever did. The road doesn't lie, but your memory does. He'd made up his mind. Final RID, final oil change, final polish on the tank, helmet on the shelf, leathers folded, done. He wasn't scared. He wasn't broken, just tired. He felt like he was holding on too long, like he'd become the old guy in the group ride, the one people wait for, the one nobody wants to be. And then his son walked in. He saw the helmet and said, "You quitting?" The man nodded, said something about age, risk, reflexes, the usual checklist, and his son just said one thing, "Don't, not yet." You have no idea how much it means to me to know you're still riding." Turns out, the son didn't want to ride. He wasn't into bikes. He didn't care about brands or torque curves. But every time his father got on that machine, he knew he hadn't given up. He knew there was still fire in the man who raised him, and that gave him permission to not give up either. Sometimes the answer to how many more rides do you have left isn't about you. It's about someone watching, hoping you don't stop being the version of yourself that still fights. He didn't need a new exhaust. He needed a reason to believe that the man he looked up to still had a few more corners left in him. He didn't quit. He just changed bikes, shorter rides, better gear, and one extra text every time he got home. Still here, still riding. You're no T owed another ride. Not by time, not by health, not by the road. Your next ride is a gift, and it's one you have to earn. The truth is, nobody knows how many rides they've got left. Could be 10, could be 2, could be 1. But you can choose how you ride it. You can choose to show up sharp, to stay hungry, to outsmart the aging body with a smarter brain and better instincts. Riders over 60 who ride once a week live longer, healthier, and report higher life satisfaction than same age peers who quit. Why? Because the throttle reminds them they're still alive, not just existing. Yoga's great, but when's the last time yoga gave you a reason to check your tire pressure at 6 a.m. on a Sunday? So, how many more rides do you have left? Wrong question. The real question is, when's your next one? And what the hell are you waiting for? Because you can wait for life to stop you, or you can ride until the road says, "That's enough, legend. You did it right."